In 1879, an interview surfaced in the American media featuring Suzette La Flechette, a prominent writer and artist from the Omaha tribe. When asked about the practice of scalping enemies, she vehemently responded that the whites were the ones who introduced it to the Indians. Similar viewpoints had circulated earlier, and by the latter part of the 20th century, they gained credibility in the realm of scholarly discourse. In reaction to the overtly derogatory portrayal of Native Americans in Westerns, progressive scholars and writers began to assert that scalping was entirely unfamiliar in pre-Columbian America, implying that it was brought by the European settlers. Moreover, during the Anglo-French conflicts, colonizers sought the assistance of native tribes, even incentivizing them financially to scalp their adversaries. This gruesome custom spread to the New World. The notion that Native Americans were initially pacifists devoid of cruelty is fundamentally incorrect. Concerning scalping itself, the reality seems to lie somewhere in between. In 1980, historians James Axtell and William S. Sturdivant published a comprehensive study titled, "The Roughest Cut, or Who Invented Scalping?" Drawing from various disciplines, they provided conclusive evidence that Native Americans had engaged in scalping their enemies prior to their first contact with Old World visitors. This practice left linguistic traces with numerous words related to scalping in their languages, as well as archaeological evidence such as incised skulls dating back before the 16th century. Early reports of scalping can be found as well. For instance, upon European entry into western Florida in 1540, a group of explorers fell into the hands of Native Americans. One of the captives was killed, and his head was removed, or, more accurately, split from his skull. Colonizers significantly influenced the adoption of such customs among certain tribes and regions. Axtell and Sturdivant noted that the Europeans played a substantial role in promoting the practice on a larger scale. This aligns with Jaroslav Wojciech's assertion in his 1759 book, Quebec, wherein he states that it was the English who propagated the custom of scalping among the Indians, targeting both combatants and civilians. A common misconception is that scalping was solely practiced by Native Americans against whites, which is unfounded. Scalping was a reciprocal act performed by both groups against each other, though Indians often receive compensation for it. Dr. Dean Chavers highlights in Indian Country that Indians sometimes demanded a significant amount of money for scalps, or in some cases, they took more money for scalping than whites did. This is evidenced by a resolution from Governor Charles Lawrence of Canada in 1756, offering rewards for delivering live Indians or scalps. The practice persisted over time and is even reflected in historical decrees. The first such awards were established more than a century ago by Dutch Governor Willem Keith Dock of Manhattan. Worth noting is that the first woman to have a monument in the United States was Hannah Dustin, honored for scalping Indians. Her statue in Boston, New Hampshire, holds a scalp in her left hand, as pointed out by Chavers.